Dobar dan, ovo je Ana Divac show i imam čast da danas u gostima imamo jednog od najvećih mastera u 21. veka. Tako da ćemo da se trudimo da vam približimo na najbolji mogući način šta on radi i kako menja ljude ne samo na našim prostorima, nego apsolutno gde se god nalazi. Njegovo ime je Mohanji. Good afternoon, welcome. Welcome to Serbia.
Thank you.
We're going to start with a basic question that we always wanted to know. And one of the question is, what is really destiny and does it really exist?
Thank you for the invitation. Destiny do exist. And that is relevant in each day, each moment. By just looking at the time, the space, the emotion, the activity, everything is different each moment. So if we look from our birth till now, we see that a kind of platform or a stage is created for certain experience to happen. That stage is the destiny. Experience is individualistic. At certain point in time, we experience a certain thing. Another point in time, it's not the same. Imagine one type of food. It's not the same. We don't want the same food every day. We don't have the same experience every day. We don't have the same emotion every day. Everything is changing. So this story is called destiny. Destiny is that from the beginning till now or till end of life, each situations, each emotions, each experience and its effect on us.
Okay, so that means like my destiny was to be born in this country and to have the life that I have, but how I'm going to react towards certain situation, that's my choice.
Well, this country is not the thing. Anywhere you can be born and a particular time you are born and a particular set of situations you went through, a particular set of people you met and experiences happened. So it can be like you can be born here, but you will live elsewhere.
Okay.
Or probably you move around. You have met so many people whom you never thought will meet. So this is a big drama that we are experiencing each day. And this whole show is called destiny. The whole show. So that means it's a flow. And also each individual, we have multiple dimensions. We are, like for example, a person born as a man can be a father, a son, a brother, an employee, or probably the president of a country. Many, many roles you play. And each role has its value. But no, not each role is him. He is an actor who's playing multiple roles each point in time, each day. So in this, the whole show is that's what I mean to say. That means a person has multiple dimensions and through these dimensions, the person is experiencing and expressing. Both things are happening simultaneously. On one side you are experiencing, on the other side you are expressing your own uniqueness, your various dimensions. This is all part of destiny.
Okay, so like if I have certain destiny, that means like, does that mean actually that I don't need to do anything in my life because I already have a certain destiny, or that means that I have certain impact on my life, so if I don't love my life or like in a certain period of time, I can change something. How do we do that? Like,
well, as a matter of fact, there is no way you can dislike yourself because you are already made.
Okay.
You are what you are. You are everything. If you look at life, where is your world? Your world is what you wake up into. That means when you wake up in the morning, you have a world. World is existing, but you don't have it. When you are sleeping, the same world is there outside, but you have nothing to do with that world. When you wake up, then when you interact with the world, that time you have the world. Like that, before our birth, the world was existing. After our death, the world will exist. So in this whole show, when do you have this world? Only when you wake up. And when you sleep, you don't have that world. So whether you like it or not, this is what you are. And how you experience the world is purely as per how you are.
Okay.
Means if you are in a good mood, you feel nice about everything. Imagine when we fall in love, when we are in love with something, or when we are in love with our activity or an individual or a place. Everything is beautiful. All things are pleasant and nice and lovely. Imagine you are not at all happy. You are sad. You are not in good relationship with people. Everything is bad. Everything looks sad. Everything looks gloomy. This is exactly, so how we are, that's how the world is.
Okay, I get it. But like what I don't understand, I don't like, for example, like my job. I don't like my apartment. I don't like my material situation. I don't like my boyfriend, whatever. There is something that I don't like in awakening state. How I can change that? Like, is that like do I change something inside of me and then they change, or I change them? How do I do that?
You can definitely make a change in everything, provided you accept yourself totally as a complete incarnation. It's you with the whole surrounding. You minus the whole surrounding doesn't work. So whenever we resist, I don't like this, I don't like that, that time we are all resisting everything. So when we resist each thing, pain is created. Resistance creates friction and pain. Instead, acceptance, okay, this is my current reality. This is what it is. Let me be here so I can transform. So like if you have seen, when some people enter the room, the whole room brightens up. When some people leave the room, the whole room brightens up. So what is this equation? That their total acceptance makes us accept them.
Okay.
So if you accept yourself totally, the whole world will accept you, because you are actually accepting yourself. You have consolidated yourself into yourself, and there is no friction anywhere. So your acceptance of yourself becomes like a magnet. You become like a magnet. You become like a bright light. That will make the world to relate to you. And that will create a kind of brightness in wherever you go. And that is the fundamental of success as well. Where total acceptance makes you totally successful in this world.
Okay. But like how do we practically do that? So I read many books that the first thing is to accept ourselves. But I don't like certain things about myself. I want to change that. I want to avoid that. So now you're telling me, no, I have to look into that, and I have to love it and accept it. How do I do that? Like, what do I do exactly during the day, during my lifetime, so I can reach that goal?
It's easy. In fact, when you start with yourself, because you are everything that you can ever understand. The only thing you need to understand in a lifetime is yourself. So how do we start recognizing ourselves, accepting ourselves? By look at yourself and connect to all your weaknesses first. We all have weaknesses. Nobody is only strength. So we look at our own weaknesses and we understand, I am a bundle of weaknesses and strengths. What we resist are our weaknesses, and that is what we see outside. For example, we have anger. Anger has a root cause, expectation. Expectation leads to disappointment, disappointment leads to anger, and sometimes it goes to hatred, revenge, so many things. But nobody else is responsible for our life except ourselves. So we start accepting, okay, I have a situation of anger. I accept this as a natural situation of me. You know, we are not trying to blame other people or any situation for our anger, because it's inside us. So we look at, okay, I'm having anger. I'm sometimes angry. Leave it like that. We are not resisting. We are not doing anything, but we are watching. When you start watching and agreeing with every part of you, this whole anger quotient will go down. Because there is no way anger can express itself when you are, anger becomes actual anger when you get involved. But you are not getting involved, you are witnessing it, you are accepting it. Like that, every situation, we have certain expectation about certain thing, that doesn't happen, we become angry. So like that, we are, okay, this situation, there is an option that this may not happen, no problem. So accepting situation as it comes, because situation is provided each moment. And we are accepting every time. And like that, when we continuously accept, then almost all situations we come in terms with. Once we come in terms with, we come over it. So it's like a continuous observation, objective observation. And in that bargain, we are not conflicting with ourselves. Only one person you have to deal with in this life, which is yourself.
So there is like just to understand, I don't like something about myself, and then I do the same thing over and over again. What do I tell myself? Anna, that's okay, don't worry, next time you're gonna be better. Or I say or I don't say anything, I just notice that and I let it pass. What exactly do I do?
Pattern. It's a pattern that we have created. Each time when we resist a particular thing, over and over again, it becomes a pattern. We see that in relationships. Sometimes we come across people who are heavily dependent. And then in that relationship, when there is no equality, it doesn't last for long. That's because one person is heavily dependent, means he's always taking, and then one person is always giving. So in certain relationships like that, it has a very short duration because of this lack of equality, lack of connection in that way. It's a receiver and giver. That doesn't work that way. Likewise, we can see that in various situations, like for example, we have prejudice before we meet a person. Like a lot of people have prejudice about certain things, like a particular ideology, a particular place, a time, or a situation, even people from a country or colors, etc. This is all coming from our not agreeing with something within us. Otherwise, all people are same, every situation is same, all are just living their story. There is nothing good or bad in it, everybody is the same. But then we need to think why we do not like certain thing about something, certain thing in a space in time. That would be always our resistance to something inside.
Okay.
It's pure psychology.
Understand, for example, okay, resistance, like I meet someone, for example, who steals. I don't steal. So I don't like that about that person. What does it mean? Like that I have something inside of me that I cannot accept that I'm stealing? Like how that does it works for my benefit, that I can understand?
Well, if somebody is stealing and you don't like it, you're actually, it's not agreeable to you to steal.
Okay.
But that's a good quality, in fact.
Okay.
Means you're not liking somebody doing something which is hurting somebody else or not ethical in certain ways. That's fine. But then what do you do about it? It's not that it's not good to allow them to steal, nor good to fight it. So when you steal and when you see somebody stealing and then you acknowledge it and then do something about it. So what you should do is that do the right thing, either to bring the awareness to them so that they don't steal again, which will increase your self-esteem. So a practical step is always required in life, practical and positive, both. Means you should take a step when you see a thing which is not right. Means you are not touching upon you can't avoid righteousness in other ways. You have to look at a matter. Okay, this is happening. I need to do something because you witnessed it. Do something about it. What should you do? Bring the awareness so that that person comes around it. The story of Victor Hugo, where the bishop received a man fully knowing that he is an ex-convict. Everybody rejected him. The society rejected. That's a natural tendency of the society to reject a person who has not done well. We see that in our society. Who do we like? The people who have been successful. But do we like somebody who has repeatedly failed in life? We don't. That is the way the nature or the society creates itself. Society automatically moves into that mode. Now, if you go and say, look here, doesn't matter, you have failed, I'm with you. Maybe that will change him for life. You don't have to do anything. Just that solidarity will give his self-esteem a boost. And then next time he will be performing something much more dynamic and much more life-changing than before.
I read one beautiful, like a story in an African tribe. They have tradition when someone does something bad, they put him in a circle and they make like a circle around him and they start telling him all the good things that he is.
Yes.
And I was like, this is really life-changing experience.
Absolutely.
So as a parent, we have like kids. So like every day we have challenge with the kids, depends of their age. So they're not doing something right. We see they're going in a wrong direction. So as a parents, what do we do? Do we tell them? Do we how do we stand up by our kids?
I fully endorse this activity. This is in many societies where they teach children to be rich inside. See, there is a richness, potential for richness inside and poverty inside. When we are in competition mode, there is always a lacking something, poverty inside. But when you start giving and sharing and nurturing, there is richness inside. So a child growing up with that feeling of richness inside will never fail in life, because they will not look at what they gain, they will always look at what they can provide. So inner richness is maintained. So I fully endorse that and appreciate
How
that.
do we help our kids to reach that richness inside?
Yeah, I'll tell a story which I recently saw. One man was talking about this. I actually saw that in a television program. A boy, a small child, is meeting his school teacher, and said, the teacher asked him, "What do you do now?" So he said, "I became a teacher, and you were the inspiration." He said, "How did I inspire you?" So he said, in a small class, he stole a watch which he liked from another student in the class, and he was feeling that he should not. I mean, this makes you feel guilty, right? And the student who lost the watch told the teacher that he lost the watch. So teacher said, "Whoever has taken the watch must give it back." But nobody, even this child, did not say anything. Then he said, "Close the door," and he asked everybody to stand in line. And everybody closed the eyes, and he started searching the pockets of each student, and he found the watch, and he took the watch, and then he gave it to the person who lost it. And this student was feeling guilty. There was no conversation, there was no discussion. He was feeling guilty, and the student was saying that someday this teacher may tell something, but nothing happened. The classes ended, the school finished, everything, and that particular incident told this child never to steal again, because he did not want that feeling guilty experience of feeling guilty. So he never did that. And later on, then he said, "Do you remember this?" The teacher said, "I don't remember this." So he said, how come you forgot it?" "Because I was also I had also closed my eyes." The teacher had closed the eyes, the children had closed the eyes. He just cleared one situation, and that situation gave a message. I always tell, we must have more counselors in this world than policemen. Because if somebody does a crime in the society, or somebody does something not so good in the society, we victimize them. We make them a criminal. We should not do that. We should, in fact, bring them out of that situation, that feeling of guilty, and that cycle of the pattern of doing the same thing. So how do we do it? We must look at, okay, this is a situation. There is a cause for it. Maybe a denial, maybe deprivation, maybe displacement, like people who have been displaced from one place. Wars have created a lot of displacement. Wars have created a lot of criminals, because the basic lack of something makes you a criminal. I had that experience myself when I was in Iraq. I was a supernumerary in a ship, and I was watching one guy standing on a crane while unloading. It's very dangerous. If the crane tilts or if he falls down, he's finished. So I came down and I called him, because I had that power. I said, "Why did you do that? This is not safety. It's not agreeing to the safety laws. Why did you do this?" So he said, "I don't care." And he was speaking good English. So I asked him, "You're speaking good English. Why are you doing this job of a hook boy?" Then he said, "I have no other job." Then I asked him, "What do you do?" So he said, "I'm an architect by profession before the war. And when they bombed our building, the Ministry of Planning building, we all lost the job. When I have a wife and 3 children. When I go home and I see my wife and children starving, I'm ready to kill somebody and get them some food." So that mindset caused him to risk his life. Do anything. He said he's getting $120 a month, and he's somehow managing to give them food. So the wars, the displacements, denials, they all create criminals. We must be very careful with this society.
We know that because we live in this region we have awards like all the time. So we just experienced one, seems like recently, but it was 20, 30 years ago. Ovo je bio Ana Divac Show, pozdravljamo vas i vidimo se u sljedećoj emisiji.